Thank you, Hugh. A very good evening from Old Trafford, which hosts European football for the final time this season. The latest instalment in Manchester United's four-year quest for silverware, which could now be less than 4 weeks from fruition. Since that sultry Stockholm night in 2017 brought success in this competition, United have had a series of near and not so near misses. String of semi-finals that speak of a litany of frustration. Over the last 16 months, they've twice fallen to Manchester City in the last four of the League Cup. They've lost to Chelsea in an FA Cup semi and succumbed to Sevilla at this stage of this competition. Defeats in each of their last four ties. The last time their barren spell was as lengthy as this, it culminated in an FA Cup final success to bring Sir Alex Ferguson his first honour at the club. And the rest is history. That one hard-earned triumph paving the way for the club's most golden era. A generation on, United still search for that first defining step. Within those halcyon days, Roma were sporadic visitors to Old Trafford, memorably blown away 7-1 on one occasion, with one of the best United performances I've ever been fortunate enough to see. It is 20 years since the Giallorossi last won the title. They've had 9 runners-up finishes in the intervening time, though this side is a shadow of some of its predecessors, and indeed that reached the semi-finals of the Champions League just 3 years ago. Like Arsenal, their European hosts for next season are wholly dependent on success in this competition, a situation that's set to see coach Paulo Fonseca dismissed and replaced by Maurizio Sarri. All Roman eggs are in this basket, but only a significant upturn in their domestic form is likely to suffice over the next week. And Manchester United start as hot favourites. They're in red shirts and black shorts, and Roma in all white, defending the end away to our right-hand side. United, De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw, McTominay and Fred, Rashford, Fernandes, Pogba and Cavani. Roma, Paul Lopez, Smalling, Cristante, Ibanez, Karsdorp, Diawara, Veretout, Spinazzola, Pellegrini and Mkhitaryan and Dzeko. So will be Roma to get us underway. Manchester United hoping that semi-final hoodoo doesn't strike again. Is it going to be 5th time lucky? Can they lay the foundations tonight for a trip to the final in Gdansk on May the 26th? Manchester United against Roma in the company of former English striker Dean Ashton.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, I think me and you just had a little chat, didn't we? Where would Pogba play, on the right or the left? I said I would prefer him on the right-hand side because I think Rashford is better off that left-hand side. Well, actually, he's starting on the left, Rashford on the right. So I'll be keeping a keen eye on Marcus Rashford to see how he feels and looks on that right-hand side.
United in possession, too far out of their own penalty area, with Lindelof and Harry Maguire, who's making his 50th appearance of the season today, just exchanging passes. Lindelof getting the ball forward but cutting across it and firing it out of play into the cameras down in front of the dugouts. It's out for a throw which will be taken by Spinazzola, the Roma left back. Their record away from home against top quality opposition in Serie A this season, very poor. They've only taken 2 points away against sides in the top half, and they've conceded on average 3 goals a game in those fixtures. Manchester United hoping to take advantage of any frailties there tonight. There's Ibanez plays the ball forward, and Spinazzola, one of the players recalled to the side tonight, wins a throw. Spinazzola has had injury problems of his own, but comes back in to replace Riccardo Calafiori, the 18-year-old who's out through injury tonight. They're also missing Gianluca Mancini, the Italian international centre-half, through suspension. Lindelof climbing high, beats Dzeko in the air, but the loose ball won in the midfield, and Ibanez finds Smalling out of the right-hand side for the Dutchman Rick Karsdorp. Launch forward from him. Pellegrini is in there trying to make something happen. It's brought down on the right-hand side of the midfield by Jordan Veretout, and he's injured himself in the process, and that could be his race run. He pulled up straight away and tapped the ball out of play for a throw, and is that his knee or his hamstring? Looks like his hamstring.
It does, yeah. I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it, when players pull up with the hamstring, they have to stop straight away. Hand on the back of the thigh, he knew straight away. As soon as he just stretched to control the ball away from Luke Shaw, straight away he just felt his hamstring in this ever-chilling Manchester air. if you are going to do your hamstring, generally, the times I've done it anyway, has been very early on in the game, when you go for that first stretch, when you just exert that little bit more out of your body that you maybe haven't done in the warm-up.
Well, it looks as though Veretout race is run. A player that played 30-odd games for Aston Villa in their relegation campaign in 2015-16, and then made the move away from Birmingham again, but has done good things for Roma this season. But he's going to be replaced here, I would imagine, by Gonzalo Villar, Spanish defensive-minded midfielder. It looks as though it is Villar that is getting ready away to our left-hand side. We're back underway, 3.5 minutes gone. It is still 0-0, very early stages here on TalkSport with Jim Bradford and Dean Ashton talking through the action from Old Trafford. It's a lovely piece of skill from Fred. Good turn to get away from Smalling, who'd stepped up from the defensive line.
He's just come back on. I mean, that amazes me.
Trying to make a fist of it. It just looks like a passenger at the moment. He's not in a position to move particularly quickly. Just a body to try and make life difficult. Can't cut out a ball from Pogba. Finds Bruno Fernandes left-hand side of the penalty area. White shirts all around him. He tries to get it in. It's chested down by Smalling and then cleared to safety by Veretout. That's what he came on for, to make that clearance. Now he goes down again. He's flat on his back on the edge of his own penalty area, and they're going to have to replace him.
That's just madness, isn't it? I mean, look, I guess, you know, Roma's season's over if they don't get through this. His season's over, that's for sure. But why would you take that chance with your own body? I guess, you know, it's a huge game. It's a semi-final. It's against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Of course you want to carry on, but you can't go back on when you've clearly done your hamstring. You can't go back on.
Well, he's made his way off now behind the goal, and very gingerly just walks down the steep camber at the edge of the pitch and down towards the hoardings, and will make his way slowly around the perimeter of the stadium back towards the tunnel, you would imagine. Goes straight down and receive treatment. Gonzalo Villar on to replace him. Villar, who has yet to score in more than 50 games for Roma, and he comes on to replace Veretout in the midfield. He's involved in the action straight away. Mkhitaryan with a nice little touch down towards Spinazzola on the left-hand side. Spinazzola then will continue his run forward. Mkhitaryan playing it into his path. It's taken a deflection on its way out for a throw that will be taken by Roma. So what with the injury, we're yet to really get going here. 5.5 minutes in at Old Trafford. The clouds beginning to roll across from the centre of town away to our right-hand side, and Spinazzola with the ball in his hands, preparing to take this throw. You're listening to Manchester United against Roma in the Europa League. It's live on TalkSport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now and get McDonald's delivered straight to your doorstep. 0-0. And the ball at the feed away to our left-hand side of David De Gea. Played out by him. Early goal in the other semi-final. Villarreal lead Arsenal by a goal nil. Trigueros, the man on target. Villarreal 1, Arsenal 0. Of course, the winners of that play are the winners of this one in Gdansk in the final on May 26. A poor start from Arsenal. If you're just joining us, you've got Nicola Pepe playing up front tonight in a false 9 position. Ball cleared here by Cristante, headed back by Pogba, and Cristante playing everybody onside. Bruno Fernandes is able to pick it up down by the dead ball line, lays it back for Shaw. Shaw's level the edge of the penalty area for Manchester United, and checks back inside to find Fernandes again, whose right-footed driven ball almost found its way through towards Wan-Bissaka, but Spinazzola's there to take it down on his chest and clear it upfield. Victor Lindelof runs round it and gets Manchester United going again away to our left. 7 gone, it's 0-0.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes picked up a couple of good positions, starting a lot higher than I've seen him in recent games. Looking to get up alongside Edison Cavani and beyond. And he's allowed to drift. He's in the role that he's playing, he's allowed to go deep. He's allowed to pretty much do whatever he wants, and it's worked. But I'd just like to see him higher up the pitch, where he can do more damage. And that's for Manchester United at the back. They can be really aggressive when it goes up to Dzeko. He hasn't got the pace. He never really had the pace. He certainly hasn't got it anymore. And they can be really aggressive up against him with one in front and one behind as a centre-back pairing. Will make it very difficult for Edin Dzeko.
What Edin Dzeko does have is predatory instincts. 2 goals in each of his last 2 trips here, and 7 in his 9 games against Manchester United all told. Also scored a goal in the Champions League here once for Wolfsburg back in the day. Here's Scott McTominay for Manchester United. Back behind square to find Fred. Fred, who's probably the smallest man on the pitch tonight, lays it out to his left-hand side for Shaw, who's driven cross is blocked. And it goes out for a Manchester United throw. That could be a good battle. Shaw against Karsdorp, the Dutchman, the former Feyenoord player, who's playing at right wing-back for Roma tonight. But frequently it is a line of 5 rather than the back 3 that Roma have been forced to employ. Pogba's doing well, he's holding off Smalling. Cavani trying to poke it back in. Bruno Fernandes! And Manchester United score! What a good start! Great move down the left-hand side of the penalty area. And it's Bruno Fernandes running onto Cavani's inch-perfect ball. Clips it past the on-rushing goalkeeper. And it nestles into the bottom right-hand corner. Manchester United's semi-final record has been poor over the last 18 months, but what a start to this one. United 1, Roma 0.
Big games call for big players, and they don't come much bigger than Bruno Fernandes. I mean, I've got to say as well, Paul Pogba, absolutely brilliant. There was nothing really happening. It went into his feet. Chris Smalling went to go tight against Pogba. Pogba just casually rolled his foot over the top, quickly spun away from Smalling, and then the little bit of interplay. Cavani just coming as a little backboard that was played into him, played round the corner for Bruno Fernandes, who I said was higher up alongside Cavani. And then when he gets in, does he panic? No, he doesn't. Little dink over the goalkeeper to put them one ahead.
25th goal of the season for Bruno Fernandes. He's only scored 3 in his last 15 games in all competitions, but 25 for the season. The man who scored in the quarter-finals and semi-finals of this one last season has given Manchester United the lead. Long way to go, of course, 10 minutes into the first leg. A 9th-minute goal scored by Fernandes, as it was in the semi-final last season. A 9th-minute penalty from Fernandes on that occasion against Sevilla. We all know what happened then, but this one with a different feel to it already. And Fernandes battling down the right-hand touchline, plays it off Villar. And out of play for the first corner of the night, which will be taken on the United right. 10 minutes gone. Arsenal trailing 1-0 at Villarreal, live on TalkSport 2. And here on TalkSport from Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 1, Roma 0. Luke Shaw will come across to take the corner, Dean.
Yeah, I can't understate, to be honest, the role that Paul Pogba played in that goal. It looked like there was no danger whatsoever, but when you got somebody with his talents to be able to just suddenly roll Chris Smalling and away he went and then play it into Cavani, it was a brilliant play, I have to say.
Corner work short by Shaw into the feet of Rashford. It's gone out of play off Mkhitaryan for another corner. Mkhitaryan, who made 60-odd appearances for Manchester United, including the 2017 Europa League final in which he scored. This is 4th Europa League semi-final of his career. Fernandes from the latest corner, worked short by Shaw. Fernandes with a poor delivery. Roma can clear from the edge of their own penalty area, and then they will sprint out, and it will come straight back over the top from De Gea, and it's a good run from Rashford down the right-hand touchline. The ball just going slightly behind him and going out of play for a throw, which will be taken in Roma's left-back position. But what a good start this has been. Manchester United taking advantage of the fact that Roma lost Veretout to injury very early on, and then the Italians yet to get going and already finding themselves a goal drift.
I mean, obviously they've got brighter after that goal. It's given everybody a lift in a red shirt, and so it should. And also what it does with that early goal, and especially the style of the goal, the way they've pretty much just carved their way through the middle of Roma's defence, it gives you confidence to be able to think, do you know what, already we've sized you up, you've got no threat whatsoever in behind from Dzeko or Mkhitaryan, Pellegrini, although Dzeko will probably give me the kiss of death.
Well, it's Wan-Bissaka with a poor throw, and Dzeko able to bring it forward, and he's found Mkhitaryan towards the edge of the penalty area. Dzeko's completely missed his kick. It's worked, though, round the right-hand side of the box for Karsdorp. Played in. What did it hit? The Roma players are adamant that it hit an arm of the sliding defender, and they think the referee might give this.
Well, I mean, Paul Pogba slid in, as he would do, to try and block the cross. It's just whether he's lifted his arm into an unnatural position. It looked to me, certainly from where we are, that he's just slid along on his side, tried to block. It's just whether his arm was above his body or was it by his side. Harry Maguire's adamant that it shouldn't be a penalty.
Well, Carlos Del Grande is the referee. The Spaniard has gone over to consult the assistant. Alejandro Hernandez, the VAR, will be having a look at the pictures. We haven't seen a replay of it as yet. But a penalty was the initial verdict from the referee, and Roma's first worthwhile attack, Karsdorp's cross, blocked by Pogba, and the penalty has been given. You see a replay of it now. Pogba sliding in, and yet they've got it right. It has to be said, they have got it right. In seeing the angle that Pogba has his arm, although he's coming down, his arm is up above his head, and it's hit it. So there can be no complaints of frustration as far as Pogba is concerned, and a penalty, and an opportunity for Roma to equalise. Pellegrini, the man that has spotted it down, and an opportunity to make it 1-1 inside the first 15 minutes. Now, Roma have hardly had a kick so far, but an opportunity to get a potentially crucial away goal on the board. Pellegrini with a very straight run up to the ball, not coming from an angle at all, and now takes a side step to his left, and he's fired it in past David De Gea, who went the right way, diving to his right, but it was a good penalty, he couldn't keep it out, and it's one apiece.
Doesn't matter whether you go the right way, when it's struck as well as that, right into the side netting, so difficult for any goalkeeper to save a penalty of that quality, no matter what the run-up was. Well, I said that they pose no threat. Well, they do. If you give the ball away as stupidly as Manchester United did, and then you go sliding in to block a cross with your arms up above your head, well, then you're asking for trouble, and they've paid the price.
Well, Paul Pogba frustrated, and there will be plenty of people that think that shouldn't be given as a penalty because of the speed at which it was hit at him and from the close proximity. But the laws are clear, and the interpretation, particularly in European games, has always been the same. He slid in, and his arm is not in a natural position, and as soon as it hits his hand, it's always going to be given. So 1-1. And Pellegrini equalising after Bruno Fernandes' goal, and the lead lasted only 6 minutes. Chris Smalling heading it forward here for Roma. Dzeko turning it to his left-hand side. Mkhitaryan beaten well in the air by Wan-Bissaka. It was his throw that started that passage of play and saw it all unravel pretty quickly. Wan-Bissaka with a throw, and he's thrown it back towards Victor Lindelof. One of the best air shots of Edin Dzeko's career, that, because had he made contact with it, been a very difficult chance for him to get on target, but in missing it completely, it led to the ball rolling through for Karsdorp to get his cross in. Now, had Dzeko made any contact at all, it wouldn't have happened like that.
Well, I mean, you talked about the battle between Karsdorp and Shaw. Well, actually, it ended up being Pogba, the one that was tracking, didn't do a great job, and then in his haste to try and make the block, but it's so hard, Jim, to stop when you're sliding in, when it's natural to you. It's natural to you to slide in with your arms sort of covering yourself. It just is. It's very difficult to change a habit that you've had for a lifetime.
Absolutely, and I don't like the law, but the law, the way that it is written at the moment, because of the position of his arm, as soon as the ball hit it, it was always going to be given. I don't think that should be a penalty in many ways, but it's the law I don't like, not the interpretation of the law by tonight's officials.
Agreed, yeah. I mean, players now, defenders especially, they have to go salmon style, don't they? They have to go literally arms right beside your hips, and just, if he was going to slide in, that's how he would have had to have slid. Very difficult, but they didn't hesitate, did they, in giving the penalty?
Dramatic opening 15 minutes here on TalkSport, one apiece. And here's Luke Shaw as the ball rolls through the centre circle. He's just got it inside his own half. He plays it back for Harry Maguire. Maguire, who has become the third United player to play 50 games over the course of the season in all competitions. Bruno Fernandes is in possession now, has played 52, which is more than anybody else. Back for Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof to Maguire. Maguire on the edge of the centre circle. And Harry Maguire, who's still played every minute of Premier League action since he signed for the club. Forward towards Scott McTominay. Challenge comes in from Diawara. And it's a free kick to Manchester United, conceded by the Guinean international midfielder, the former Napoli man. And this gives United an opportunity, but they've taken it very quickly. Chip forward over the top, and good awareness to find Marcus Rashford. Good execution of a chip to find him. Spinazzola's clearance is poor. Straight to Wan-Bissaka. In from Bruno Fernandes into what could have been a very dangerous area, but the goalkeeper, Paul Lopez, has done well, taking a couple of steps off his line and come down and taking it, brought it into his chest on the bounce to make sure that it didn't find either Cavani or Pogba. It's one apiece at Old Trafford on TalkSport.
Well, I was just waiting to see Edinson Cavani's movement, but actually, being the player that he is, he was already looking to win the ball back as McTominay gives it away.
And Mkhitaryan tried to make the most of that, and a better ball forward towards Pellegrini could have caused significant problems there. As it is, it's played forward quickly at the other end. Manchester United win the seconds with Cavani, trying to release Rashford, but got the pass all wrong, and that just allows Roger Ibanez the opportunity to come down and take it down towards the corner flag. Rashford is there, making life difficult. The ball had stopped for 2 or 3 seconds. He was trying to get it away. Peels for a handball against Wan-Bissaka, and the officials belatedly give it. So it's a free kick which Roma will take again in their left-back position. 20 minutes have flown by. Manchester United 1, Roma 1.
I mean, fascinating tactically in terms of how Roma have set up Mkhitaryan and Pellegrini playing as very much inverted wingers, which means that when Shaw and Wan-Bissaka go high and wide, if Manchester United give the ball away, which they did for the goal, and they did just there with McTominay, then they're exposed. That's when Roma can maybe outnumber the 2 centre-backs on the counter-attack. Whereas if Manchester United in possession, if they move it quickly and switch it quickly, there should be a 2v1 for them every single time against Roma's 2 wing-backs, because Pellegrini and Mkhitaryan aren't doing that defensive job and aren't following the full-backs.
Those are the thoughts of former England international Dean Ashton. Alongside me, Jim Proudfoot. Smalling stepping up from the defensive line to try and make the most of a poor piece of play. Couldn't do so. He's now out of position. Pogba able to drive forward and chip it over the top. Rashford trying to take it into his stride. Couldn't quite. Will still get there before it rolls out of play. He's pulled back away from Spinazzola. Didn't find Bruno Fernandes. And Mkhitaryan has come back into the left-back position and can feed Diawara. Now Ibanez, dark-haired Brazilian, taking it down towards the touchline and firing it away. And it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United right. You're listening to United against Roma in the Europa League. It's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie, the place to get great value refurbished phones and tech. As United look long this time, Harry Maguire's ball drifts through and all the way through to his goalkeeper, Paul Lopez, who had a season on loan at Tottenham earlier in his career. He didn't make a first-team appearance for them, but Roma's first choice over the last couple of years. He might have work to do here. It's Cavani onside. Flag has stayed down as he's played in. Then pulled back by Cavani through the penalty area to Wan-Bissaka. Corner of the box, onto his left foot, chipping it in. Not the best delivery, which Smalling can head away. Bounces in front of Edin Dzeko. He's beaten to it by Maguire. Hooked over his shoulder by Wan-Bissaka. And then Rashford is brought down by Ibanez. So the clash of heads potentially between the pair of them, but a free kick to United, 8 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre.
I think he's lucky to get a free kick there, Rashford, because he just basically stands there, doesn't actually make a challenge to win the header. Ibanez just comes over the top of him. Yes, there's a little bit of an elbow on the head, but that is how I see the game, to be honest. He's been more aggressive, lent on top of Rashford to win the header, which you learn as a centre-back, and he's been punished for it. Dangerous area as well for Manchester United for a free kick.
Well, Fred and Bruno Fernandes stand over it. I'm prepared to bet that one of them is more likely to try his luck on goal here than the other. Bruno Fernandes taking 2 or 3 steps back, runs up, addresses it right-footed and swings it over the bar.
Yeah, not his best. Not his best. Don't think you'd have got great odds on Fernandes being the one that took that. And we always say, well, it favours the left footer. I don't really agree with that, to be honest. If the free kick's good enough from either side, and it's right where you want to put it, close to the post or the crossbar, it's always going to be difficult for any goalkeeper. But it was more a case of getting it up and not getting it down on that occasion for Fernandes.
Ball cleared. Spinazzola helping it on. The left wing back, only able to find a man in red. Wan-Bissaka down the line for Marcus Rashford. Diawara has come back to offer the cover. Rashford gets towards the corner flag, wraps his right foot around it and plays it back for Bruno Fernandes. Now McTominay. He finds Lindelof, and Lindelof will go back for Maguire. Roma got this far by beating Braga and Shakhtar Donetsk and Ajax in the knockout stages. Manchester United, for their part, have seen off Real Sociedad and Milan and Granada last time out. And Granada in action tonight in La Liga, and they've won away at Barcelona by 2-1. Barca, if they won that their game in hand, would have gone top. But beaten at home tonight, 2-1 by Granada. Here's Rashford making his way forward. Was the edge of the area. Bruno Fernandes didn't get a hold of it, and just a little daisy cutter past Smalling and wide of Paul Lopez's right-hand post. 1-1 on TalkSport. Yeah,
good mazy run from Marcus Rashford. Got a little bit of luck. A couple of step-overs, but then it ricocheted back off the defender and off his shins, and away he went again. Tucked it into Bruno Fernandes in the box, and it's so difficult when you take that touch in the box as a forward player. You want to just cushion that out of your feet, ready to just strike it in one movement. His touch left it right underneath his body, and he just tried to shift his left foot and scoop it with his right, and in the end no power and just went wide.
1-1 the scoreline here at Old Trafford on TalkSport. Again, a choice of listening for you on the TalkSport network tonight. Arsenal a goal down at Villarreal, live over on TalkSport 2 for you right now. Manchester United couldn't make the most of a promising position there, but then Mkhitaryan stepping up has given it away. Wan-Bissaka finds Bruno Fernandes. Pogba coming in off the left-hand side. Good save by Paul Lopez. Back in from Wan-Bissaka. It hits Spinazzola and ricochets to Wan-Bissaka again. Edin Dzeko tracks back and gets back goal side. Play back towards Lindelof. Pellegrini diving in on him. And the referee stops play because Paul Lopez, injured in making that save from Paul Pogba, is lying in some distress just off the goal line. Is it his shoulder that he's hurt in making that save?
Yeah, looks like it. Screaming in a lot of pain. Pogba just cutting in off that left-hand side, looking to whip that in to the far right-hand corner. Lopez obviously diving that way, full stretch, left arm out, nice and straight. It's just then when he lands on the shoulder, if that's opened up, incredibly painful.
Well, seeing the replay, he was back to his feet pretty quickly and didn't seem to be in any great distress instantly.
That's just a reaction. Goalkeepers, if goalkeepers fell out of bed, they'd just get up straight away. They're made into that.
Well, they've lost Jordan Verretou through injury already tonight, and this does not look good at all for Paul Lopez. Opening up the shoulder ligaments of his left shoulder by the look of it. He's being helped back to his feet very gingerly. They've got two substitute goalkeepers, the veteran, 37-year-old Antonio Mirante, and also the younger Brazilian Daniel Fusato. I would imagine it'll be Mirante who will come on, but it looks as though they're going to lose a second player to injury inside the opening 25-26 minutes. They've not been blessed with a huge amount of luck tonight. Mirante, as I say, 37, won 400 games in his career, will come on tonight for only the 8th European tie of his career. And Paul Lopez is saying, no, I'm okay. He's just trying to rotate that left shoulder in circular motion. I think the physios are telling him, look, don't take a risk with it. And look at the stakes that there are and what an important game this is. We can't have you playing if you're not fully fit. And I think he's being told he's going to have to come off, and Mirante's going to come on to replace him. So 1-1 the scoreline here on TalkSport with 27 minutes gone. And it looks as though Roma are going to have to swap the keepers over.
Yeah, absolutely. A massive blow. I mean, not only have they lost one of their most attacking, creative players in Verretou, now the goalkeeper Lopez, and luckily he wasn't as stupid as his teammate to think he could carry on with a possible dislocated shoulder.
Well, I don't know, I think he was, but I just think that it was the medical staff that told him that he wasn't to. So he's off. Now they have 5 substitutes. Both sides have 5 substitutes in these games, but you can only make them at 3 separate junctures within the playing time. So although they've got 3 more players that they can bring on, they've only got 1 substitution left within playing time now. They might have to try and look ahead to what's going to happen in the future and make a change at half-time, potentially. Dzeko on the front foot here, swings the ball out towards the right-hand side. Karsdorp, the blonde-haired Dutchman, pulling it back for VR, who's been off the bench for all but the opening 3 minutes of the game. He came on for Veretout. Now Ibanez, just trying to cut away from Marcus Rashford. It's gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the left-hand side. Don't forget, when we finished here at Old Trafford tonight at 10, Jason and Andy, take your calls on National Radio on the Sports Bar. 08717223344 is the number. Get your calls in, have your say on National Radio from 10 o'clock tonight. Spinazzola making his way forward towards the edge of the D. Karsdorp bursting forward in support. Decent ball in. Pellegrini was waiting. Lindelof was there to knock it away. Maguire, I beg your pardon, to clear his lines, and out it goes for a throw, which will be taken over on the Roma right-hand side, about 15 yards or so from the corner flags. 1-1. Fernandes opening the scoring. Pellegrini with the penalty after a handball by Pogba, tying it up 6 minutes later. And the first 15 minutes played at a blistering pace. And it's just a little bit of shadow boxing's been going on more latterly than that. It's gone off the boil a little bit. There will be a throw which will be taken by United in their left-back position over on the far touchline. Yeah, I think that just the blow of the penalty for Manchester United has taken the brightness out of them that they started with the goal and the movement and squeezing Roma back, and it's just given confidence to Roma. But United can bring it forward here with Wan-Bissaka finding Marcus Rashford. Rashford taking on Spinazzola, dropping the shoulder, trying to get to the byline. He lost possession just for a split second and got it back. Now to Wan-Bissaka again. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, McTominay showing for the pass and just couldn't get there. Ibanez did well, and then did well to put the brakes on. This pitch here at Old Trafford, I'm sure you're aware, is on a kind of island. It's raised up a couple of feet or so. Talking about it a fortnight ago for the Granada game, and Ibanez, in making the challenge and letting the ball run out of play, then knew that he was going to go down that slope pretty quickly, and he did well to put the brakes on and not hurt himself by falling into the hoardings. Half an hour gone, 1-1 the scoreline. United unbeaten in the last 17 home games in this competition. Last time they conceded 2 goals in a Europa League tie here was against Bilbao back in 2013. And it's a free kick here to Roma. I was just looking down at my notes. I'm guessing, did the ref fall into him?
He fell over Dzeko. I know it's I know it's childish, but it's never not funny.
It's on that very premise that the pantomime industry has survived as long as it has. Just seeing the replay of it, Dzeko going down, and the referee almost getting caught from behind. Well, there you go, over he goes. And Dzeko with a half laugh and half grimace as it happened. No half laughs as far as Arsenal are concerned. They're 2 down now, away to Villarreal. Albiol with the second. Pogba trying to make his way through here. He's got a free kick just to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Maybe a yard outside the box and only 2 or 3 yards from the dead ball line. Opportunity for Manchester United to get their noses back in front, but just confirmation that the game live for you right now over on TalkSport 2. Arsenal already 2 down to Unai Emery's Villarreal in eastern Spain tonight.
Well, it's not been a comfortable start for Chris Smalling against Paul Pogba. It's just been outwitted over on that far side. Lovely bit of skill, the way Pogba rolls his boot over the top of the ball, and then a little step over.
First bit of action for the substitute goalkeeper Mirante, who threw himself at it. It was clear before it got there as the free kick was driven in with real pace to the near post. Roma get it away, 2 halfway. Wan-Bissaka turns it all the way back for De Gea. And De Gea taking it out towards the edge of the D, and now whacking it forward, long right-footed. Smalling, enough of a head start to deal with the runner Bruno Fernandes in behind him. And the ball goes through to the veteran substitute goalkeeper Mirante away to our right-hand side. 32 gone. Manchester United 1, Roma 1. United have won all 3 previous matches against Roma here. They came in a 12-month period back in 2007, 2008. They knocked Roma out in the Champions League quarterfinals in 2007, then again in 2008 on way to winning the competition on that unforgettable night in Moscow. Ball cleared. Boy, did it rain that night. Ball played for by Spinazzola. Spinazzola forward over halfway, getting away from Scott McTominay. Now a chance to run towards the edge of the penalty area. Spinazzola taking them all on. Blocked well by Victor Lindelof. Spinazzola back for Mkhitaryan. Good reverse balling from Mkhitaryan. Pellegrini trying to put it on the plate for Dzeko, and he's done exactly that. And Roma have turned this around. A second away goal. They lead by 2-1. Marking completely awry. Played in the penalty area by Pellegrini. And Dzeko's got a tremendous record Old Trafford. Comes back to haunt them again. Manchester United 1, Roma 2.
Well, Spinazzola, once he got away there, Wan-Bissaka was totally out of position. And just a couple of steps and runs from Spinazzola, cuts it back, and then it's a lovely reverse pass from Mkhitaryan. But somebody has to be playing, I think it was Pellegrini onside, and they just don't get out. It's lazy defending. Harry Maguire and Shaw are both in there. They need to get, as soon as that ball's played back towards Mkhitaryan, they have to step out 2 or 3 yards at least. They don't. It's lazy defending. Little reverse pass through the legs of McTominay, and then Pellegrini is so unselfish, cuts it across for Dzeko, and there's no way he could miss. He tried his best.
He did try his best. Seeing that replay, he has kicked it with his right foot into his left knee, and it's ended up in the net. He's 3 yards out. He nearly missed it, but he didn't, and Manchester United trail by 2-1. Dzeko, the man that got the aggregate winner in the quarter-final against Ajax. That's his 5th goal in 6 Europa League ties, and it's now 8 in 10 for him in his career against Manchester United. He scored here for Wolfsburg, for Manchester City on numerous occasions, and also now for Roma. And United, who led this game early on, trail by 2-1 before half-time. Here's McTominay. Manchester United needing a response. Wan-Bissaka forward. Rashford trying to help it on. Roma are able to get it away, and it's played over the top again, and Mkhitaryan will be able to make his way forward. Wan-Bissaka very quickly back goal side, and the flag up anyway, and it's a free kick which will be taken by United just outside the box. 2-1 to Roma on TalkSport.
Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got an issue, because tactically at the moment both of the goals have come from when their fullbacks are high and they've been able to get down the sides of Manchester United on the break, and they've just not covered, whether that's McTominay or Fred. They've been left exposed in the wide areas, and Roma have taken advantage, because Pellegrini and Mkhitaryan, they're not doing any defensive work really, not out wide anyway. So as soon as they win the ball back, they're ready for it.
Rashford's ball inside the penalty area. Smalling with an excellent diving header away. Helped on by Diawara. Nice little flick from Dzeko. Played through the midfield by Mkhitaryan. Pellegrini's got it. Dzeko making ground to the left-hand side in space. Curious choice of balls from Pellegrini, who just played it forward, where he didn't have a runner. Manchester United can mop up very easily. And Roma are going to make another change in a moment. They're 3rd in this first half. And just to reiterate the situation, they won't be able to make any more except for at half-time if they make one here. They could make a double change at half-time, but if they don't, then they've got to go through from here on in. And is it Spinazzola that's going to come off? And that has to be an injury as well. So he's off, and Bruno Perez, another Brazilian, former Torino defender, and he will come on. So Bruno Perez for Spinazzola, and they've lost 3 players to injury inside 36 minutes, but they lead by 2-1.
That's incredible. I mean, I just wonder whether it was that run that he made all the way down the left for the second goal, because again he's holding the back of his leg, his hamstring, like he's tweaked it. But that is just so unfortunate to have 3 injuries in the first half in such a massive game. Really, really tough on Roma, considering they're 2-1 up.
Ball played forward by Mkhitaryan here towards Edin Dzeko, and it goes out of play. Would you have expected, if it was a slight hamstring twinge, that he would go down the tunnel for treatment, or that he would receive treatment in the stands? He's been shown through the yellow gate, and they are going down. The Roma medical staff are going down to attend to him now in the stand, put a bit of ice on it maybe to sort it out, but he looked far from happy with the situation as he came off. 2-1 Manchester United trail. Same situation as it was in the semi-final last year against Sevilla, although of course this is a two-legged tie, and that one, because of COVID, was only played over one leg. United with the 9th minute Bruno Fernandes goal, and find themselves 2-1 down. Exactly what happened against Sevilla, but a long way to go yet, particularly with the theory that Manchester United more adept playing away from home, particularly in European games. Wan-Bissaka rolling it down the line. Rashford will get there down by the corner flag. On 250 United games behind him now, and he's unlucky as he plays it into Ibanez that it comes back off the Brazilian into Rashford, and out of play for a throw that will be taken by the latest of the substitutes to come on, Bruno Perez, the left wing back. Manchester United 1, Roma 2. Roma, who've lost their last 2 games away from home, who've come into this one on the back of 4 without a win, but 2 away goals against their name already. Pogba back for McTominay. Pogba back on his feet quickly, couldn't guide it through to find Cavani. Pogba then battling with his former teammate Mkhitaryan down towards the touchline, can't keep it in, goes out for a throw on the left. I did mention earlier, the last time that United conceded 2 in the Europa League tie here against Athletic Bilbao back in 2013, they lost 3-2 that night. 2-1 down tonight. Pogba still trying to make his way through. The camera pans to Spinazzola receiving treatment and getting a bag of ice strapped to that left hamstring. Bruno Fernandes controlling it, playing it back inside his own half. Harry Maguire in his white boots, working it forward for Scott McTominay, who's similarly clad. The ball down towards this near touchline. McTominay just caught there by Edin Dzeko. It's going to be a free kick which will be taken by United about 10 yards inside their own half. 5 to go to half-time. Manchester United 1, Roma 2 here on TalkSport. Declan McCarthy, our in-stadium producer, Hugh Woozencroft in the chair. Interesting to hear Hugh's views at half-time on this one as the ball's played over the top for Cavani. Offside flag up against him anyway. And alongside me is Dean Ashton. 5 to go to the break, Dean.
Yeah, I think it's amazing how many times at Old Trafford I've seen this type of performance. Little flashes of good play from Manchester United, but then it just turns into very flat, nervy, lacking ideas. It's odd, but they won't panic. You know, they've shown all season how brilliant they've been from coming from behind situations. They won't panic. They know they've got enough talent to overcome this, but it's worrying just how easy they've conceded them 2 goals. But I said at the start of the game, I said this game at home is the one that I would worry about.
Yeah, they've taken 28 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season. Have trailed in 8 of the 10 away games that they've won in the league.
It's the tempo's gone as well. You know, the start of the game, tempo was really good. The goal especially, the movement, how quickly they moved the ball.
Is Rashford making his way forward in towards Cavani, couldn't get it into his stride, and Cristante's going to be able to come across and get it away. Drives it forward, it hits Fred, will sprint after it, try and stop it going out of play for a goal kick, but he's failed. And it's going to be a goal kick which Morante will take. Prior to that, there was a coming together just outside the penalty area involving Paul Pogba, but the referee had allowed play to go on. 3.5 to go to the break. Roma leading by 2 goals to 1. Arsenal trailing by 2 goals to 0. Away to Villarreal, live over on TalkSport 2. Arsenal just moments ago had a penalty ruled out by the VAR. Pepe shown to have handled the ball in the lead-up to the foul, and it stays 2-0 to Villarreal at home to Arsenal tonight, live over on TalkSport 2 for you right now. If you've got the TalkSport app, you can easily just swipe one way and t'other and keep abreast of all of the action that's going on in both of these Europa League semi-finals. Don't forget the second legs coming up next Thursday, and Dean and I will be talking you through the action that's taking place in the Stadio Olimpico between Roma and Manchester United in the second leg of this one. At the moment will be finally poised with Roma leading by 2 goals to 1 tonight. Pellegrini, score of the first Roma goal, back for Cristante, now to Diawara. Diawara has got Bruno Perez to his left. He's gone there via the other Brazilian, Ibanez, and then worked down the line for Dzeko, but not at a good angle. And straight out of play for a throw that will be taken by Victor Lindelof. 2.5 to go to half-time. It's going to be a fair bit of stoppage time to be added on because of treatment and the 3 substitutions that Roma have had to make because of injury. And Wan-Bissaka's got it now. Forward towards Rashford. Rashford back for Lindelof. And it's 2-1 to Roma with 43 on the clock.
I mean, this is where, we saw it last night with Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, and clearly what he said at half-time to change things around, maybe change things, just tweak things tactically. Well, all he's got is, this is it. This is where, as a top manager, I think you show your pedigree. Can he now tactically tweak a few things? Because when they lose the ball, their fullbacks are too high, and they're being overrun in midfield because of Roma's attackers being so narrow. He's got to change something. Certainly tactically, I'd have Rashford over on that other side. He just doesn't look the same player on the right. Something needs to change, and I think that's what's going to be interesting, whether Ollie is the manager that we think he could possibly be. Well, these are the games, these are the moments. Half-time in a semi-final first leg when you're down 2-1. Can you spot tactically what the issue is?
Maguire playing it forward. Edison Cavani looking along the line. The flag is up, and it's a free kick for offside. Must have been a close one. You sense Cavani thought he was offside. I had to keep going for the ball, and the free kick is given to Roma. Paulo Fonseca in his Peaky Blinders cap just stands there with his arms folded across his chest on the edge of the technical area away to the left-hand side. The speculation will tell you he's going to be fired at the end of the season, irrespective of what happens in the Europa League campaign. And such have been the disappointments in Serie A this season. But his side are making a good fist of this. They lead 2-1, despite the injury problems they've had tonight. VR working it for Pellegrini, who's won a free kick from Maguire. And a free kick that'll be taken about 10 yards inside Manchester United territory. That's the Guinean international midfielder Diawara that comes forward, takes it, works it back behind square for Cristante, former Atalanta man who's scored 3 goals in Europe in his career, and they've all come against Everton. Ball back for Morante. Morante down towards the left-hand side for Bruno Perez. 5 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, and we're in them now. We'll start with the Roma throw on the left-hand touchline.
Just the body language is incredible, isn't it? After obviously now conceding 2 goals, shoulders are shrugged. Manchester United players, especially the attackers, where's that urgency to win the ball back? Just confidence drained from them.
We are only a quarter of the way through the tie at the end of these 5 minutes of stoppage time, but already you sense that there's a lack of belief amongst the Manchester United players. That's what is suggested by the body language that Dean's referring to there. Smalling plays it out towards Karsdorp. First half's gone better for them than they could have imagined. Ada Cristante, and a long left-footed ball fall from him, which Wan-Bissaka can head away, but straight to Henrik Mkhitaryan. They're winning a lot of seconds at the moment. Ball played forward. Dzeko tried to turn it away from Fred. Can't do so. Now United might be able to break, and Bruno Fernandes will bring it forward. Pogba to his left-hand side. Karsdorp coming back in, gets goal side, but Pogba still got it. Level with the edge of the box. Laid back for Bruno Fernandes. Into the feet of Fred. Fred doing well, turning away from his man VR. Now Rashford dragging the studs of his right boot over the top of the ball. Couldn't get himself into a shooting position. Little 1-2 between him and Bruno Fernandes. Now they brought McTominay into it. McTominay to Lindelof to Maguire, and United just shuffling back surreptitiously here. Changing the line of attack to work it out towards the left-hand side now for Bruno Fernandes. Too much on his ball forward for sure. Well defended by Cristante. It goes out of play for a goal kick which Morante will take. And we're 2 minutes into stoppage time at the end of the first half, with Roma leading 2-1 on TalkSport.
Yeah, defensively Roma really growing in confidence throughout this half. And as soon as Manchester United, they looked good, didn't they, on the break? All of a sudden, as soon as it slows down from attacking point of view and Roma get into position, it just seems to fizzle out, and the ideas and lack of show from Manchester United.
Morante clearing it forward off Dzeko, Pellegrini. is in there. Mkhitaryan as well. Dzeko drops deep and gets in. And Wan-Bissaka throws his right foot through the challenge, and Dzeko did likewise. He blocked it. It comes off him, and then by the time it bounces, it spins to a stop down by the corner flag. And Dzeko's industry in the end unrewarded as it goes out of play for a goal kick. But the Roma dignitaries who are sitting immediately to our left-hand side applauding that work rate from the veteran Bosnian striker. He's the man that has got the most significant moment of the night so far. A goal that has given Roma the lead. 2-1. He tried to mishit it with his right foot into his left knee, but it bobbled in. Rashford towards the edge of the penalty area. Right idea on the ball. Bruno Fernandes applauding it. Slightly overhit, and it goes through into the hands of goalkeeper Morante.
Honestly, football's mad, isn't it? You know, early on I was thinking Manchester United are just going to cruise through. They're all over the place defensively, Roma. Manchester United look comfortable, a brilliant first goal. And now you look and it's just totally different. You know, the mentality of players, you have to be so strong in these situations.
Well, Manchester United was so much on top in that first 15 minutes. Roma scoring from their first attack with the penalty it was given against Pogba, and it was as if there was a huge pendulum over Old Trafford with self-belief, and you could see it swing with that moment from one half of the pitch right over to the other. And now it's Manchester United who are playing within themselves, and it's Roma that are able to express themselves, and not quite play with a swagger as yet, but they're certainly doing themselves justice here, and they've got possession again. It's going to be a big team talk this, but what a mistake from Perez, and it's Cavani, and it's saved by Morante. Cavani again, blocked by Smalling. Left-footed clearance comes from Cristante. Roma survive. Suicidal ball across the penalty area, and Edinson Cavani will be deeply frustrated that he hasn't made more of it. Fred has it now, finds Rashford edge of the area, little skip over, checks back, then clips it in right-footed, goes out of play on Pellegrini for a corner, but United should have got back on level terms to 2-2.
Well, he looks to the skies, and rightly so. Ibanez, terrible mistake, not enough on it, trying to play that all the way across his defensive line to his fullback. Terrible mistake, and you just thought, here we go, Cavani, cool as you like, is going to slip that under the keeper. Fair play to Morante. Closed the angle down very quickly.
Luke Shaw to take this corner right at the end of the first half. It's an in-swinging delivery which is headed over the top. Half chance as far as United are concerned, and a melee of players. There are 2 or 3 down there inside the 6-yard box. I wonder if there was a clash of heads between 2 of the Roma players. Scott McTominay coming in, and he got himself in between 2 of the Roma defenders, and I think he ended up with extreme physical contact on the pair of them. Smalling is one of them that has gone down, and there's another down as well who will continue to receive treatment as the half-time whistle blows. An extraordinary first 45 minutes. Manchester United so much on top in the opening 15, got themselves ahead, pegged back. Roma much the better side since then. They've lost 3 players to injury, but they have 2 priceless away goals. And at half-time in the first leg, it's Manchester United 1, AS Roma 2. Well, the answer as far as Roma are concerned is no. They're not making any changes now, so as I understand it, they won't be able to make any further changes at all from here on in. Manchester United getting the second half underway. Red shirts, black shorts and socks. No changes made by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at this juncture either. And Manchester United will bring the ball forward and play it out towards Luke Shaw. I'll run through the 2 teams for you in a moment. Shaw into the feet of Paul Pogba. Clever little back heel flick round the back of Karsdorp. Shaw pushes him to the ground. And it's a free kick to Roma. United with De Gea in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw. McTominay and Fred. Rashford, Fernandes and Pogba. And Cavani up front. Roma with substitute Morante in goal. Smalling, Cristante, Ibanez, the back 3. Karsdorp, Diawara, Villar, who's the substitute, and Bruno Perez, who's the substitute, and then Pellegrini and Mkhitaryan, and Dzeko up front. Fernandes on 9 minutes, Pellegrini from the spot on 15 after a Pogba handball, Dzeko on 34, nobody in the book. 2-1 to Roma with a minute gone in the second half here on TalkSport. Scott McTominay in possession, laying it back for Victor Lindelof, and Lindelof taking a touch and working square as he always tends to do to Harry Maguire. Forward from Maguire to Shaw, then back to Maguire, now to De Gea. Bobbing up and down on the edge of his 6-yard box, brings it under control, takes a touch. Oh, low ball forward, he smacked it into Dzeko and it ricochets wide. He might just have been able to get back and cover it had he going in, but it's a really poor kick.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. If that just cushions off Dzeko's backside rather than pinging off his thigh, then De Gea's in all sorts of trouble because Lindelof and Maguire were so wide.
Well, they got away with it. Roma getting away with one at the end of the first half with that Roger Ibanez hospital ball across the edge of his own penalty area. Cavani got on the end of but couldn't make the most of. And it's 2-1 to Roma, and the men in white shirts bring it out from the back. But Maguire should have been able to intercept that, he couldn't. And Dzeko, whose 304th goal of his career is the most significant moment of the night tonight, finds Mkhitaryan. Here's ball inside the penalty area, still finds its way through. Pellegrini with the layoff. Diawara will pick it up. Another opportunity Roma haven't been able to make the most of there. They have it on the corner of the penalty area, and it goes back to Diawara again, and he's forced to lay it back into a deeper position for the sweeper Cristante. Headed away by Maguire. Gone through to Dzeko, he might have been offside. United able to win the seconds and play it forward, and Pogba now towards Cavani. Cavani holding it up, Rashford to his right. He's found Bruno Fernandes back for Cavani. 2-2, and Manchester United are back on level terms within 2.5 minutes of the start of the second half. Excellent passing move, scything through the middle. Bruno Fernandes rolling it into the path of Cavani, who just leant back, opened up the body and fired it into the top right hand corner. Manchester United 2, Roma 2.
Well, if an opposing team just thinks for 1 second that they're really taking advantage of sloppy Manchester United defending, and you switch off for the counter-attack, you get punished. Manchester United are so good, so slick in these situations. Bit of interplay between Cavani and Fernandes. Fernandes with a disguised pass into Cavani, and I tell you what, I mean, he could have just put this in the corner, Cavani. He doesn't. He opens his body out and he rifles it into the top corner. Goalkeeper, not a chance. Brilliant, cool, killer finish from Cavani.
361st goal of his career. He's got 10 in his last 10 games against Roma. He often put them to the sword in Serie A, and he scored against them tonight. Might have missed one in the first half, but he didn't miss that. 2-2. Now Villar's going to go in the book here for a poor challenge on Pogba. He's the first player to have his name taken, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. But if they needed something just to provide a modicum of self-belief at the beginning of this second half, that was it. A fine move, a brilliant finish, and it's happened so early as well. And we talked about the swing of the pendulum in the first half of self-belief. It might just be going back the other way now.
Yeah, possibly, but Jim, honestly, they nearly got caught out at the other end. The goal has come from a great attack from Roma, where the defending and the defensive line was just diabolical. I mean, Wan-Bissaka was 5 to 10 yards behind every other Manchester United player, and the runs from Roma attackers are poor. Lazy runs, to be honest, and they're offside to a good defence, but they were let in, they didn't take advantage, and then suddenly they sweep up the other end, Manchester United, on a counter-attack. And Cavani, honestly, that finish, when you get a chance to see it, he could have just made it very easy, just side-footed that low into the corner. He didn't. He absolutely rifled it into the top corner with the side of his foot.
That's 4 goals in his last 5 games now. And Edinson Cavani's record in this competition in his career is exemplary. 16 in 22 Europa League ties in his career. 2-2 the scoreline, and we're 5 minutes into the second half here on TalkSport. Jim Pravin and Dean Ashton talking you through it. Ball forward over the top, and Morante just came out and got there, and Pogba, going for the ball, kept his eye on it. He gets a yellow card for the challenge on the substitute goalkeeper Morante, who is down holding his face inside the penalty area.
Well, I mean, Pogba's making out like he's hardly done anything, but I think he does just leave a hand out. I don't think it's an elbow of sorts. I mean, it's just a tiny little flick with a gloved hand from Paul Pogba. I mean, it's silly, and actually he deserves a yellow card. It's just daft to even put your hands anywhere near the goalkeeper's face, albeit it was a tiny touch and he's got gloves on, but what was the point in even doing that?
So Pogba in the book, and yellow card for a player from each team in the space of a couple of minutes. And it's a throw which will be taken on the right-hand side here by Rick Karsdorp for Roma. 2-2 at the scoreline. Never likely to be a particularly low-scoring game tonight, bearing in mind Roma's away record this season. 56 goals in 16 games. Or in their 16 games away from home in Serie A this season. And, an average of more than 3.5 goals a game. They've conceded many more than they've scored. Rashford making his way forward. 3-2 to Manchester United. If it ends up that way, wouldn't be an ideal scoreline at the beginning of the night as far as United are concerned, but all they would have to do is maintain this long unbeaten streak away from home next week and they'll be in the final. But it's 2-2 at the moment, and Roma might feel that that would be a scoreline that would put them in the box seat. Wan-Bissaka back for Rashford. Still 38 minutes to go here tonight at Old Trafford. A dry but cool night in Manchester. McTominay down towards Fred. Luke Shaw coming in off the left-hand side, flicks it away from Karsdorp and makes a run, and Pogba's found him with the return pass, and Shaw's got round the back of the Dutchman, and Cavani skies it over the bar from 8 yards out.
Well, that's the only surprise, because everything else about that move was absolutely brilliant. Luke Shaw at his absolute best, into Pogba in midfield. Pogba reverse pass into Shaw, who's flying down that left-hand side. Once he's in full flow, there's not many that'll catch Luke Shaw. And then he doesn't just thrash it across, he picks out Cavani, who just pulled away from his defender. No surprise there. The only surprise was when it came back, he set himself lovely, thinking, here we go, I'm just going to side foot this in, and blazed it a good 30 yards over the bar.
So 2-2 the scoreline, 2-0. Arsenal trail away to Villarreal, and Dani Ceballos has just been sent off for Arsenal for 2 yellow cards. So Arsenal's bad night gets even worse. They're 2 down. It's live for you right now over on TalkSport 2. Second leg of this one next week here on TalkSport. Second leg of both of the Champions League semi-finals from in the stadium next week as well. Manchester City try and complete the job they started last night against PSG. That's on Tuesday. Chelsea at home to Real Madrid Wednesday, and then Roma at home to Manchester United Thursday. We've got it all covered for you. The European semis next week on TalkSport. Tonight you're listening to Manchester United against Roma in the Europa League live on TalkSport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now on the Uber Eats or Just Eat app. We deliver. Manchester United trying to deliver here with Pogba, leaving it for Fernandes, scooped in with the outside of the right boot. It was a delicious cross, Rashford attacking it, great improvisation. Ibanez was back there just to head it away. What a ball, just fashioning with the outside of the right boot.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Just took it off the feet of Paul Pogba, who was fiddling around with the ball on the edge of the box. Fernandes took control and then just scooped it with the outside of his foot towards Rashford at the back post. And could Rashford have maybe just made that run in front of Ibanez?
Sorry, Dean, the ball comes in from the corner from Shaw, which was a little bit too low and flat, and it was knocked away by Pellegrini, and now Roma will try and break quickly with Mkhitaryan. He may have been offside, but the ball has already gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Manchester United right. 2-2 with 10 minutes into the second half. United have won their last 4 two-legged ties against Italian opposition, including Milan in the round of 16 this season. And you've got to go back 20 years to the last time that Roma won away to an English team, which was a victory in 2001 at Anfield. They've not won any of the last 12 since then. Here's Smalling, the ground he knows so well, stepping up from the defensive line. Dreadlock ponytail bouncing behind him. Played forward through the midfield by VR, one of the substitutes. If you're just joining us, they had 3 players go off injured, including the goalkeeper, in the first 45 minutes. Roma, Pogba bringing it forward here, ran out of room, throw taken by Karsdorp, back for Cristante. And Cristante back to the edge of the D, and Ibanez will play it out towards Perez, and Bruno Perez He's bypassing his compatriot. Look for Diawara instead in the midfield. It's seized upon by a combination of McTominay and Cavani. Played in towards Bruno Fernandes, who ends up on the deck. No foul. Play goes on though. Fred to Pogba. Pogba for McTominay. Trying to knock it in. A little deflection. Steered it away from Cavani. He can find it. He lays it back for Bruno Fernandes. Chips it in. He's headed by McTominay high up in the air. Roma player goes down face first into the turf. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Roma. Smalling's okay. He's back on his feet after the challenge. But United getting closer and closer to being able to provide themselves with a decent opportunity to go ahead again.
Yes, another clear-cut opportunity, this time for McTominay. Fernandes was probably fouled on the edge of the box, and then when it came to Paul Pogba, really cute and clever pass just down the side of the fullback for McTominay, who was making that run beyond the forward. And he never really looked up, he never really looked comfortable, and rather than striking that ball cleanly towards goal, it was neither a shot or a cross, and pretty feeble in the end from McTominay.
Wan-Bissaka bringing the ball forward here. McTominay's ended up on the deck inside the centre circle. He's on his knees, back on his feet now. Roma have it. Cristante to Ibanez, whose touch was a vital one, not the most convincing, but he did well just to open up his foot and get it away and stop that slight mishit from McTominay finding Cavani. And that was a goal-saving intervention. He'll play it forward here and win a throw, which will be taken midway inside the Manchester United half, over on the far touchline, almost level with us. A throw which will be taken on the Roma left flank. Been beaten 8 times in 16 away games in Serie A this season. As I mentioned earlier, only 2 points away to top half opposition in 7 matches in the Serie A away from home. Here's Pogba, bringing it forward now for Manchester United. Given away. Just the accuracy of those passes just not quite finding feet at the moment, not quite good enough from what they want. Here's Mkhitaryan now, down towards Karsdorp. Karsdorp on the right hand side, flashes the cross in. Oh, almost steered by McTominay inside the far post. He's got away with it, had to play it, and got a touch which shanked wide, away from De Gea, and wide of the far post for a corner.
Oh, got away with that. McTominay right off the edge of the shin pad. That one, it was a fantastic whipped ball from Karsdorp. Lindelof and Maguire both left it because they knew any touch could fire in their own goal. McTominay doing that defensive work, getting back in right off the shin pad, just wide.
6 inside the penalty area to attack this first Roma corner of the night. McTominay's there to head it away. Bounces outside the box and will go through to VR. VR back for Perez. Perez to Karsdorp, and the Dutchman brings it forward, and it's an excellent pass as well. Karsdorp playing it in. Pellegrini looking for Dzeko, might yet get there. Eddie Dzeko lays it back. Smalling, and he's blasted it wide.
Well, why didn't Pellegrini take that on himself? He just clearly mustn't have fancied it out his own left foot and then looked to play that across to Dzeko. He wasn't expecting it because he was thinking, well, I'm definitely shooting in that position, why aren't you? It was a great opportunity, but that was so poor again defensively from Manchester United. I mean, Karsdorp literally just does half a shape to play it down the line, cuts inside past Rashford and Cavani, no real defensive line, and then plays one ball right through the centre of Manchester United's defence, and he's in on goal.
Fred looking for the long diagonal. Wan-Bissaka motoring up through the gears, chasing after it, wins a throw. Played an hour at Old Trafford, it's 2-2. 10-man Arsenal, 2-0 down away to Villarreal. Live for you right now over on TalkSport 2 already, with so much work to do. Fair to make it through to the Europa League final again for the second time in 3 seasons. Sure, 4 for Pogba here. Pogba, Bruno Fernandes making a run off the ball. Diawara's there to knock it away, and again the backpedaling's got to be good for McTominay. I thought he'd mistimed that for a moment as Mkhitaryan was trying to get in, but they're finding themselves isolated in that kind of position far too frequently for Manchester United defensively. It was McTominay that time.
Honestly, the shape of this game is just bonkers. I mean, it's just a free-for-all. There's no positioning, there's no structure. It's just literally a free-for-all, which I'm surprised at. You know, Manchester United have got themselves back in 2-2, keep a good shape at the very least. It's just everyone's all over the place. McTominay ends up in the back line? Where are the two centre? It's just bizarre how they've allowed the game to get so wild.
Chris Smalling has been booked for a challenge on Bruno Fernandes. Caught him late. United played on, but the referee decided there was no real advantage, so he's pulled it back for the free kick, and Smalling is in the book. Roma bring it away. Edin Dzeko made a run, was probably 8 yards offside. He did check back and get himself back on, and trying to link up here with Mkhitaryan. He's found him. Mkhitaryan pulling it back, and in here Lindelof, and goes behind for another corner. Another flurry of applause from the Roman dignitaries to our left. Corner which will be taken over on the Roman left-hand side. Pellegrini will go across to take it. Scored at Ajax in the first leg of the quarter-final. He scored tonight at Old Trafford in the first leg of the semi-final. Roma, who were runners-up in this competition and in its previous guise of the UEFA Cup 30 years ago. I'm going to get to the final of the Europa League for the first time. Real crowd scene inside the 6-yard box as the corner comes in and is headed away by Harry Maguire. Down to the touchline. Fred battling with Karsdorp. Can't get a touch to nick it off his opponent. And now for a Manchester United throw, it's going to be a Roma throw. And Karsdorp is just stealing 2-3 yards, making his way almost sideways, crab-like up the touchline before throwing it forward towards Villar. Villar takes it down towards the corner flag, loses possession. It's a goal kick. I think Shaw was convinced that it was a goal kick, and then when the assistant referee didn't flag, his eyeballs came out on stalks, but he got the decision that they craved. And a few warming up down in front of us. Alex Telles and Donny van der Beek getting ready for Manchester United. They're in possession here with Shaw. Still no sign of a United change up to this point. Pogba steering it forward. Edinson Cavani. It's got Rashford in the middle. Cavani can't get to the ball quickly enough to be able to work it first time inside the penalty area. But Shaw will take it on now past Villar. Gets it back, Shaw, and then checks back and works it to Paul Pogba. Pogba to the edge of the area. Bruno Fernandes stabbing it on towards the right side for Wan-Bissaka, and the goalkeeper parries it down to Cavani, who puts it in. Manchester United have scored twice in the opening 20 minutes of this second half to turn it around, and they lead by 3 goals to 2.
Predator, Edinson Cavani. I mean, it's a gift from Morante. From the shot from Wan-Bissaka, which wasn't that strong, to be honest. The goalkeeper's got to keep hold of that. But good strikers who hunt down little opportunities, little tap-ins, follow the goalkeepers in. Years and years and years of practice Edinson Cavani's probably followed in, and it hasn't quite fallen. But when it does, you can just tap it home. Fernandes, edge of the box, picks the ball up. Clever, just waits and waits and waits till the last second to be able to play that ball to Wan-Bissaka, who's kept on side by Smalling, who's deeper than all of his defenders, and then Morante parries it softly into the pass of Cavani, and he'll never score an easier goal than that from 6 yards out.
Yeah, he literally couldn't miss it. And that's now 11 in his last 10 games against Roma. Edinson Cavani, who's got 12 goals in 17 starts for Manchester United this season. 3-2 to Manchester United, who have survived a dodgy spell that they had in the first half. They've been better in this second period. 1-0 up, 2-1 down, 3-2 up, 25 minutes to go, all bets are off. It could be anything by the end of the night. The throw that Karsdorp will take. I came here, as mentioned earlier, very privileged to have seen that 7-1 here at Old Trafford between United and Roma 14 years ago. I didn't think that we'd get an 8-goal thriller tonight. We may well. Here's Mkhitaryan playing it out to the left-hand side for Roma to bring it forward again towards the corner of the penalty area. Chipped in. Maguire there to head it away from Dzeko. Bruno Fernandes finding Fred, and Roma beginning to commit more bodies forward, and just plays into United's hands. Edinson Cavani square to his right. Oh, missed Fred from close range. Villar seizing upon the loose ball in the midfield. Mkhitaryan able to bring the ball forward now to the corner of the box. Right-footed in-swinging delivery. Dzeko with a flick header. And a hand down smartly to his right-hand side. Is able to gather the ball into his chest.
I mean, Mkhitaryan, Dzeko, are they 23, not 33, or whatever they are? I mean, it's just bizarre. Mkhitaryan drives down the left, cuts back with no real challenge from Wan-Bissaka, who just allows him to come onto his right foot, and Dzeko, against 3 defenders, Shaw, Maguire and Lindelof, gets the run on them all and gets a free header. I mean, honestly, like I said, it's just the structure, the defensive intensity, it's so poor from Manchester United. I mean, it's poor from Roma as well, which is why we've got the score we have.
Well, against those top half teams in Serie A this season away from home, they've conceded on average 3 goals a game. They've been hit for 3 already tonight, Roma, despite mitigating circumstances, they would argue. Here's Rashford, back for Fred. 3-2, Manchester United lead, having been 2-1 down. Bruno Fernandes, right-footed ball clipped in, diving header away, came from Smalling, and then Diawara turning is brought down the edge of his own penalty area by Bruno Fernandes, and it's a free kick, which will be taken by Roma. Just coming up to the midway stage of this second half. Much more live football coming up for you on the network over the course of the weekend. Manchester City's trip to Crystal Palace Saturday. 3 points there will leave them 3 points away from winning the title, and we've got it for you on Talk Sport. 11 o'clock Game Day Live starts ahead of a 12:30 kickoff. 12:30 in the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday in desperate relegation trouble at home to Nottingham Forest. Game Day Live with Adrian from 2:30 with all the goals as they go in. Swansea Derby, big game in the Championship in that relegation battle. 3 o'clock kickoff on Talk Sport 2 on Saturday, and there's Chelsea Fulham and Everton against Aston Villa, all coming your way. 5 live games on the TalkSport network this coming Saturday, and the FA Vase final on Monday, as a shot comes in from Shaw from the edge of the penalty area, and it's beaten away by Morante. Loose ball won and then lost immediately by Pogba, and then Dzeko is fouled by Fred inside the centre circle.
Do you know what this game reminds me of? It reminds me of playground football, where no one wants to defend. Everyone just wants to be the players that go forward and not bother tracking back. Honestly, both teams just no interest whatsoever in any structure defensively. It is just a free-for-all and see who comes out on top at the end of it.
Now, Karsdorp, who is playing as the right wing-back for Roma, has just taken the back out of his job description, because he's just sitting on the right wing now, and he would have had an excellent ball there had it not been taken out of his flight path by Pellegrini, his teammate. Luke Shaw seizes upon it. What a pass. Rashford right inside of the area. Cavani on a hat-trick, making a darting near-post run. Couldn't get the little flick that he wanted. Tumbles down at the end of the pitch. And there's a penalty been given. The ball came inside the penalty area there. Cavani took a tumble, and it looks as though the referee has pointed to the spot. Well, Marcus Rashford getting along that, getting on the end of that ball from Luke Shaw, and Cavani has ended up being pushed off the pitch, and he's down in the hoardings, away behind the goal. Coach Fonseca is standing, hands outstretched. Very few people here at Old Trafford have a clue what that is being given for. I wonder whether the VAR will have a look at it. We'll look at a replay now. Rashford controlling it, down by the byline. Cavani trying to get in there. Now, has there been a foul on him inside the penalty area?
No, of course there's not. Chris Smalling's coming across. Cavani's about to tap in at the near post, so Chris Smalling comes across to block any potential shot, and they both slide away. Obviously, Chris Smalling catches Cavani on the way through, but there's nothing else that he can do because he's stopping the cross. Cavani's out of the game anyway. It's just the same thing you would see in lots of matches. This is not a penalty. You know, the ball's gone. Chris Smalling's gone to make, he's not even gone to make a challenge, he's just gone to block the pass, and as they've followed through, he's naturally just come together with Cavani. Very, very lucky.
Well, there were no real claims as far as the Manchester United players were concerned that it was a penalty, but the VAR check is over. It has been given. Cavani's back on his feet, and Bruno Fernandes has the opportunity, a fortuitous opportunity, to make it 4-2 to Manchester United. He's already scored one tonight. Bruno Fernandes saunters up to it, hits it right-footed into the top left-hand corner. Manchester United 4, Roma 2. And the visitors are furious with the award of a penalty, dispatched with aplomb by Bruno Fernandes. United 4-2 up and their semi-final hoodoo comes that little bit closer to coming to an end.
Well, 3 little side steps from Bruno Fernandes, then a little jinking run towards the ball, half a stop step, and then whips it into that left-hand side. Fantastic penalty, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, but that shouldn't have been allowed. How can any referee look at that back and decide that is a penalty? I don't know what else Chris Smalling can do when he's trying to defend at the near post, trying to stop a clear and obvious chance for Cavani. Manchester United won't care though.
Well, what has happened, having seen a replay from a different angle, Cavani is there, the ball has gone past him, and Smalling's momentum has just taken him into Cavani. A collision is absolutely inevitable.
Yeah.
It's not a foul, but he's tumbled then. He sent Cavani, because of the nature of the pitch that we talked about earlier, he sent him crashing into the hoardings. Again, that isn't Smalling's fault.
He's almost tackled him, almost off the pitch, past the post. It's just that's a natural movement. Like you said, not one Manchester United player claimed for a penalty. Cavani didn't, even from where he was as he slid away down the slope. But clearly the referee felt it was, and the VAR felt the same.
Well, the VAR has deemed that it wasn't a clear and obvious error, and I'm surprised. Let's put it that way. 4-2, fantastic for Manchester United, and Mason Greenwood's going to be coming on shortly. And Arsenal also have had a penalty and have scored it. Goal back for Nicola Pepe. They're down to 10 men, but they're back in the game. And if they can hold on there now with 10 men to only lose 2-1, then they might fancy their chances of turning it around at the Emirates next week. Here's Pogba, working it wide for Wan-Bissaka. Now out towards Cavani, back for Wan-Bissaka again. He couldn't take on Ibanez and beat him. McTominay, back for Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Cavani is in, Cavani on a hat-trick shot that's deflected, and Karsdorp's going to be able to knock it away. 4-2 to Manchester United, still with 17 minutes to go. This isn't going to end 4-2. Here's Lindelof, 4 towards Bruno Fernandes, 8-4 maybe. Wan-Bissaka to Paul Pogba, right-hand side of the penalty area. 4 for him to try and pick out. Pull back for McTominay, rifled in by him. It's blocked by Bruno Perez, goes out of play for a corner.
What's happened to Roma? I mean, at the end of that first half we were thinking, look, a good side now, full of confidence. Second half, couple of goals, they've gone to pieces, Roma. Like I said, no structure. You're away at Manchester United. Yes, you've conceded a goal at 2-2. Well, do you know what? Get yourself back into a good shape. Let's make it really difficult now for Manchester United. 2-2 in the first leg away from home. Brilliant result. They've just been as gung-ho as Manchester United in terms of thinking they can go and get a third away from home.
Manchester United 4, Roma 2. Corner in for Bruno Fernandes. Pogba heads it in. Goal number 5 for Manchester United. A 5-goal display. Maybe not a 5-star display, but Manchester United have built the foundations, Roman ruins for their Europa campaign. United are going to Gdansk. They lead by 5-2.
And this ridiculous game just gets stranger. I told you, Roma completely gone, out on their feet. And what a cross from Bruno Fernandes. Gets it out of his feet again, just rolls he doesn't even roll his foot over it, he just whips it first time. Normally he rolls that over his foot and then gets it from under his feet. Not this time. As it comes back to him, just plays it in. Chris Smalling's allowed Paul Pogba to peel off the back of him. He sees it right onto his forehead, and he doesn't make any rash movements with his neck. He just guides it across into that far corner. Far too easy for Manchester United.
Paul Pogba, who scored the winner at the San Siro, scored the opener in the Europa League final in 2017, and has just scored the goal that surely cements it as far as Manchester United are concerned. I know they've still got another 15 minutes tonight, we've still got 90 minutes in Rome next week, but when you consider that they haven't lost away from home for as long as they have, They surely aren't going to go to Rome and throw this away. Etienne Capoue set off for Villarreal, and it's 10 aside in that game against Arsenal now. Capoue dismissed, and Arsenal 2-1 down, but right back in it. And this is ebbing away from Roma. 4 goals in a 27-minute spell in this second half for Manchester United, and it's fair to say at half-time we did not see that coming.
No, we didn't, no. And how many times has this happened this season, where you look at Manchester United and you go, it's been a pretty average performance. Defensively, they've given opportunities away, yet all of a sudden they find themselves ahead in the game, well ahead, from nothing, really.
Roma free kick. Maguire heads it away. Cavani touching it to his left-hand side for Paul Pogba. Pogba back for Luke Shaw. Shaw will play through the midfield, and it's 4 against 3 again. And Roma have just given up. It's Bruno Fernandes bringing it forward. Wan-Bissaka to his right-hand side. Roma now getting some kind of shake back. Chipped inside the box. Cavani! And he was offside. But he tried the acrobatic bicycle kick. What a way that would have been to complete his hat-trick. Didn't really get hold of it. And as I say, the flag would have denied him anyway.
I mean, you said through the what midfield? There wasn't one from Roma. Wide open spaces for Manchester United to roam into, and again it's that man Fernandes with a lovely clip ball. Cavani had just gone a fraction too early, and it sized up. He saw it and he thought, I'm going to have this on a scissor kick, and in the end just got it slightly wrong, dug it into the turf, and the excitement went.
Xhaka playing it out of the left, and it's gone out of play for a throw. You're listening to Manchester United 5, Roma 2 in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie, the UK's #1 phone recycler. Get cash for your tech the smart way. Don't forget, when we finish here at Old Trafford at 10, Jason Cundy and Andy Goldstein taking your calls, reacting to what will be a Manchester United win. Who knows what it's going to be for Arsenal out in Spain. 2-1 down in a game that's 10 aside after Ceballos and Capoue were sent off. 08717223344 is the number. You get your calls in. Have you say National Radio from 10 tonight. Tomorrow morning, more reaction on the Sports Breakfast. Big Al joined by Ali McCoist and Trevor Sinclair. Here's Harry Maguire playing it forward. Flicked on with a good header by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Bruno Fernandes chasing after it. Ibanez can lay it back to his goalkeeper, the substitute Morante, who clears it right-footed towards halfway. Not the best, though. Luke Shaw able to jump high and nod it down. Finds Pogba. Pogba to Cavani. Cavani to the edge of the area. Pogba takes a tumble. Bruno Fernandes back for Shaw to Bruno Fernandes again. Left-footed ball chipped inside the penalty area. Greenwood's first involvement is to make a good darting run. Sets it up for Fred, whose left-footed volley goes along the turf and wide. Well, Orange Stadium producer Declan McCarthy tells me that Edison Cavani's become the oldest player to score a brace in the semi-final stage or beyond in major European competition since Philippe Cocu did it for PSV against Milan in the Champions League semi-finals some 16 years ago. 2 tonight for Cavani, 2 for Bruno Fernandes, 1 for Pogba, who's also given away a penalty. United 5-2 up on TalkSport with 11 minutes to go.
Well, and you just know, as that ball rolled back to Fred and he looked to size up the strike, the Roma bus driver was just ready to start the ignition if that had flown into the top corner.
Well, he certainly hasn't tried to park it on the pitch, has he? That bus.
No.
Anything but. Maguire heads it away. Brought down by Diawara. Now a shot from the edge of the area, and De Gea just watches it wide of his left-hand post, out for a goal kick. 5-2, Manchester United lead. Action against Liverpool at the weekend, and then after the second leg, in Rome, they go to Aston Villa. Leicester and Fulham come here. Wolves away, final day of the season. And then a Europa League final to look forward to. Seemingly, don't want to count any chickens as far as Manchester United are concerned, but I can't make a great case for Roma in being able to turn around this. 5-2 down. Particularly with Manchester United's stellar away form. It's going to extend United's unbeaten run in this competition here at Old Trafford to 18 and 8 years. Ball will be cleared down the United right by Lindelof. Deflected though into the path of Mkhitaryan. United can bring it away. Cavani to Luke Shaw. Shaw bringing it forward. Paul Pogba wearing 6 out on the left-hand touchline. United looking for number 6 as Cavani makes his way forward towards the edge of the box. Nemanja Matic is going to be coming on. A second change from Manchester United in a moment. It might be this man that he replaces, Fred. Down towards Shaw. Shaw playing it back to halfway for Maguire. Maguire to Lindelof. A little handshake between Nemanja Matic and Paulo Fonseca, the edge of the technical area, as Matic prepares to come on. Two men whose paths will have crossed before in Portuguese football. Here's Shaw. Back for Maguire. Maguire to Scott McTominay, taking it on the half turn, trying to get it away from Henrik Mkhitaryan. And Roma, some of them running on empty now. And we talked about the fact that they made those 3 changes because of injury in the first half. Can't make any now. Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side of the box. Played back. Greenwood linking up well with McTominay. To Pogba, back for Greenwood again. Greenwood gutting it away from Mkhitaryan. In towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's lost out, but was fouled in the process. And the free kick goes United's way, and they'll make the change now. And Matic for Fred with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, just a straight swap. It's not going to change anything in particular. Maybe just a little bit of organisation out of possession. But I thought you were kind in saying they were running on empty, because there isn't any running. Honestly, they're walking now, the Roma players. Heads are down, probably thinking, how have we let this slip to 5-2? Well, they've just been all over the place defensively. You see why they've got such a bad record away from home, because there's been a real lack of organisation, especially at 2-2.
A prolonged embrace between Fred and his manager on this near touchline as he comes off. A free kick is bent inside the box and headed away. And it's come off Ibanez now for a corner, which will be taken on the Manchester United left, their 6th corner of the night. A nice moment there. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer clearly happy with Fred's industry this evening, and just telling him so, just pointing something out as well after the big smiles had dissipated a bit. Bruno Fernandes coming across to take this corner. Still plenty of time for a 6th and maybe a 7th. Surely they can't hit Roma for 7 again here. In comes Bruno Fernandes, corner deep towards the far post, and McTominay was going up for it, but there was a push. And it's a free kick to Roma inside their box. 6.5 to go. Man United 5, Roma 2.
Well, I suppose semi-final, does it really matter how you play, how you get it done? No, it's about getting to the final and giving yourself a chance of lifting that trophy, and they've done that. And I have seen this time and time again this season, where you're thinking, well, what is the sort of style of play? Not too sure. At times they've looked, in this game alone, they've had periods where you've thought either that's terrible defending, or where's the creativity, where's the ideas, and then all of a sudden, in a burst of quality, they're ahead in the game, and they're going to win the game.
Cavani setting up for Bruno Fernandes from the edge of the penalty area, and it maybe, to give him credit, just took a slightly awkward bounce in front of him, but he skied it over the bar halfway back to Stretford End. Roma have got a player down hurt. It's Diawara on the edge of his own box. They can't replace him if he is unable to continue. 6 minutes to go. This has unravelled astonishingly quickly for Roma.
But when they are good, Manchester United, they have got real quality, real class. They've combined beautifully. Fernandes, Cavani and Pogba, 3 big players for Manchester United that have all turned up in an attacking sense.
Roma bring it forward again. Midway inside the Manchester United half, and they commit the bodies forward. I guess they've got to a certain extent, just to try and get something out of this. Bruno Fernandes heads it away from Karsdorp and out for a throw. But in committing those bodies forward, vacating that midfield area, just gives Manchester United license to hit them on the counter-attack once they turn over possession. Back from Cristante to Diawara, who's okay, having recovered from that injury. Long diagonal down towards Karsdorp, who's just climbed high and nodded it on to keep it in. He might wish that he hadn't, because it fell straight for Bruno Fernandes. Cavani scooping it forward. Mason Greenwood is in. Right-hand side of the area. It's Greenwood. It's 6. No doubt about it now. Manchester United have had this problem in semi-finals over the last 16 months. No problem with this one tonight. 6 of the best. They've hit Roma for 6 goals in a European semi-final, and they will be in Gdansk. Manchester United 6, Roma 2.
All too easy for Manchester United. One little break, flick over the top to Cavani, and then a real classy ball through, outside of the right foot, on the half volley, spinning it across to Greenwood. And did we have any doubt? A boy in this much form, you could just see the way he bared down on goal, made sure he got that ball nicely out of his feet, left foot, right foot. He actually doesn't care, and he just strokes it with his right foot. Goalkeeper should do better, really, Morante. But he guided it towards the far post to make it 6.
Marcus Greenwood's 6th goal in his last 8 games. It's his first in Europe in his last 11 matches since he netted against Leipzig back in October. And a goal to mark his 100th senior appearance of his career. 99 of them for Manchester United's first team, and one in the EFL trophy as well. 10th goal of the season. He's up in the double figures again. Manchester United, if there was another 15 minutes to play, Manchester United could be in double figures tonight. 6-2, Diawara brings it forward.
That's not even a joke, by the way. Well, it's not.
If you look at some of the misses, you know, the presentable half chances around the edge of the penalty, it's not as if everything United have hit tonight's gone in. And still they've scored 6. 5 in this second half. If you're just joining us, Manchester United were behind at half-time by 2 goals to 1. But now with 2.5 minutes to go, they lead by 6 goals to 2. And it is another 8-goal thriller between United and Roma at Old Trafford.
It is, yeah. I mean, Roma, I have to say, have been absolutely abysmal in the second half. Absolutely abysmal. You know, you're looking around that side and saying, well, who's leading this team defensively? Who's got any nous in terms of an away performance in Europe to make sure we shut up shop at 2-2? And you can tell Manchester United have got a bit of confidence.
Matic, and he's found Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes motors forward, and he drops the shoulder and he tiptoes his way through, and it just took a deflection, and the Roma number 6 rather than the United number 6 there first. Smalling ahead of Pogba and cleared his lines. And Juan Mata's going to come on. Final change from Manchester United for the last 90 seconds of the game. Mata, who's won this competition twice, in 2013, 4 years later in 2017, and now 4 years later he will come on, take his part in a semi-final which United are going to win to get through to another final. He'll replace Bruno Fernandes. Mata for Fernandes, who comes off. Job done. 2 goals for him, a couple of assists as well. And we're in the 90th minute with Manchester United leading by 6 goals to 2. Wan-Bissaka making his way forward. He'll be cleared from the left-hand side by Morante. Harry Maguire comes across. He was here earlier this season, the day that Manchester United put 9 past Southampton. I reckon that Southampton side could beat this Roma team, the way that they played in the second half. And here's Lindelof. Lindelof down towards Nemanja Matic. Matic checks, finds McTominay, just waiting for find out how many extra minutes are going to be added. Nemanja Matic now in the heart of the midfield. Paul Pogba to the left-hand side, just drops back inside his own half to receive possession, spins it down the line for Shaw's run, and Smalling comes across. Hasn't been the happy Old Trafford return that he was hoping for. Still Villarreal 2, Arsenal 1. They're in the 4th minute of stoppage time in that game, which is 10 aside. And we go into 2 additional minutes in this one. Manchester United leading 6-2. Matic back for Maguire. Maguire taking a touch, knocks it forward, finding Luke Shaw. Still time for Manchester United to launch one more attack. Juan Mata, forward towards Paul Pogba. Mata ends up on the deck. Referee allows play to go on with United in good possession. Matic to his right-hand side. And Mkhitaryan just watching as it finds its way through for Wan-Bissaka. Now be played in by Greenwood, but it hits the nearest Roma player, who will try and bring it away and hope to get it out of harm's way. Eventually managed it, Ibanez. But Manchester United will mop up at the back with Harry Maguire.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not even trying now, Manchester United, and they could still open Roma up. You know, it's they've completely gone in the second half.
Maguire back for Victor Lindelof. And now Manchester United will bring it forward one final time with about another 50 seconds on the clock. Lindelof to Maguire. Pogba dropping off. But Maguire will look long and just turn it through the midfield. Diawara backing off. Nemanja Matic has it now. Finds Scott McTominay. McTominay down to his left for Paul Pogba. Shaw in space to his left, but Pogba looks for the Hollywood pass, and needless to say, it's on, and he's found his man over on that right-hand touchline. Greenwood swinging it in. Chris Smalling with a diving header gets it away. McTominay first to it in the midfield. Still 20 seconds to go. Luke Shaw back on the left-hand side. Back for Scott McTominay again. McTominay to Victor Lindelof. Lindelof bringing it forward. Lindelof to within 25 yards of the edge of the penalty area. Now finding Mason Greenwood, and the referee puts whistle to mouth and puts Roma out of their misery. But Manchester United have put them out of the Europa League with the job only half done. Manchester United have struggled at this hurdle, beaten by Manchester City and Chelsea and Sevilla and Manchester City again. It's literally a failure at the semi-final stage for United in cup competition, but they've got the job done tonight. A goal up, 2-1 down in a lacklustre first half. The second half they have blown Roma away. 5 unanswered goals since half-time, a 6-2 victory, and they already know ahead of the second leg that is job done. Manchester United 6, Roma 2, and United will be in the 2021 Europa League final.